Welcome back. I'm talking to Dr. Judy Wood about 9/11. Now, I've also interviewed a chap called Dr. Nick Colostrom all about 7/7, which, in my opinion, is another false flag attack, this time on London. And Nick said in one of our interviews that the state, in inverted commas, because it's not the members of Parliament doing this, we know that it lies above or beyond that, stakes everything.
The crew.
Yeah, the crew. The crew. The state stakes everything on this. And I said to him, well, what do you mean by that? If it's fully exposed and justice is served, that you mean the state has to fall in order for the truth to come out on it fully? And he said, yeah. And I thought, wow, you know, we can't just arrest the ones responsible and lock them up. So you don't quite agree with that, Judy?
Mm-mm. I would say 9/11, everything intersects here. The whole world is affected with that. And what I have found is that various other events, folks are willing to sacrifice that to save the issue of 9/11. 9/11, everything is on that. And if for example, if a third of the people in the world read this book in the next couple of weeks, the crew would be undermined.
So what you're saying is that the technology used to do 9/11, that's the ultimate thing, information they're protecting, and they'll sacrifice everything.
And not just the technology.
Right.
9/11 was an attack on human consciousness. It psychologically has controlled everyone. Not everyone, but the vast majority. And there's so many issues that control is used for, that there's so much, like so many things are connected to the 9/11 thing. The 7/7 is a nice kind of distraction from that. Yeah, the story isn't as advertised. So the story comes out, and they would be willing to sacrifice that for sure, easily, really? to protect the 9/11 thing. They could come out and say, well, you know, okay, we got it wrong, you know. As I say, it's like the wrong party was given the traffic ticket 10 years ago. That, okay, we got this wrong. And it doesn't really change a whole lot, because that's water under the bridge by now.
But do you not think that, let's just say that the truth came out about 7/7, and they arrested the guy who I want arrested, which is Peter Power, questioned him, found out who organised the terror drill.
Oh, we have one bad guy, you know. Yeah.
And then
one bad apple.
And then put them all on trial. Well, put them all on trial, whatever team did it, and so you would 9/11 not be the next domino?
No, that one is totally, you know, several layers way, but it involves the whole planet.
Right.
But there's something I've found very similar between the two. 3 + 1 = 4.
Right.
3 planes in buildings, 1 in the ground, as the story goes.
All right, I see.
And 3 in the tubes, 1 in the bus.
One, right, all right.
That one, it can happen anywhere.
Right, so they've got 3 actual physical geographical targets plus 1 roaming target.
Yeah, one wild card.
Right. So you think that that's done like that for a reason then, or?
Yeah, the one in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That you're not safe anywhere. Don't go to the cities. Don't go to the cities. Don't go in the tubes. But you're not safe anywhere.
Right. All right.
I think that's
part of the psychology behind it.
Yep.
Right. All right.
I don't know if we need to say that or not.
No, I've never thought of that before. Okay.
3 + 1 = 4.
Judy's just set a laptop up because she's going to show a little clip of Professor Stephen E. Jones, and this was a sort of a seminal moment in the cover-up of the cold fusion technology, where he's sitting there with a panel of scientists, and they're all voting on whether cold fusion works or not. And you think there's a great deal of peer pressure going on in this conference?
Right. It's
just explain it for us, Judy.
Yeah, they're voting. Well, Stephen Jones holds up his hand to get everyone else to hold up their hand to vote against considering any sort of seriousness with the work of Pons and Fleischmann. That their work is dead. Time to move on and just forget about that.
Yeah.
And the idea of, you know, following along, you know, Stephen Jones holds up his hand and then asks the question, you know, is it, we'll agree it's dead, and then others hold up their hand, physicists at the table. I don't even think they realize what they're doing. and they hold up their hand. And I've seen him do that with 9/11 material. That people tend to just go with the flow. They go with the leader of a group.
It sounds like something from the Middle Ages.
But we all do that to some degree.
Yeah.
And that's something I've been struggling with lately is, part of the human condition.
Called like being a sheep.
Yeah, that we don't want to have to reinvent the wheel every morning. Yeah. We want to be able to build on something, so we make assumptions. And our society has gotten so complex, so complicated, so much time pressure that we don't have time to research things. We believe that this person has. That's what the evening news is about. And you think you could, believe somebody.
And somebody who exerts their influence in order to do that, to cover things up, is known as a gatekeeper.
Yes.
And there's a chap who's been helping you, as musicians, actually written a song all about the gatekeepers.
Actually, how it began, he got my book, read it, and was so moved by it that he wrote a song called "Wake Up, This Is Your Alarm," and where the buildings go. And he summed up in just a few words how what happened on 9/11.
Where did the towers go? Away with the breeze that blows. And how much steel did they find? Could it be shipped in time? I don't know, I haven't seen the receipt, but it doesn't make sense to me. All those cars in a line, door handles and engines gone. I'd tell you if I could, but you need to ask Judy Wood. Before you accuse someone, you better make damn sure you know what was done.
And then following that, he wrote this new song about the gatekeepers.
Right.
So there you go, following them, but you don't know. You're just a means to one end. The truth you seek, they want to hide. That's why they keep you close by their side. They're the gatekeepers. They hold all the keys. They're the gatekeepers. Information disease. High in the sky is all you've been fed. I think that is why you forgot your own head. Sometimes you need to be cruel to be kind. That makes me believe you've lost your own minds.
Okay, and I think, well, Andrew and I have discussed in a previous show his book, 9/11: Finding the Truth, and we've alluded to this as well, that there are key people.
And others who believe in them, really believe in them, just follow them along, like voting against science.
Okay.
The idea that here's free energy technology, let's vote it off the table, and just like that, it's gone. And 20 years it took to vindicate Fons and Fleischmann, but still the rumor is still out there that it's just bogus.
So you would argue then that those, what did you call it? The word you used for them, the not the group, the crew. The crew, yeah.
The crew in charge.
The crew have taken that research and presumably spent a lot of money developing it to get it to the point where it's a weapon. Do you think that group has it for energy generation as well?
Oh, there's the black technology must be way ahead of us, and it's like a two-tiered culture. where we don't know what they have, and it could be they already had that before Pons and Fleischmann. They just didn't want us to have it.
All right. So that's why they were alerted to it so quickly, because they
Right.
already knew what it was.
Yeah.
And that
Yep.
makes sense. So, and I know you don't like to speculate, Judy, but you've anti-gravity, energy from the vacuum.
I've got a good one for you. According to our history books, static electricity was first discovered in the year 600 BC. And then they want us to believe that it took another 2,400 years to discover electricity. Does that make sense to you? There are no electrical storms between here and there. I think that things do get discovered, but they get undiscovered and get managed.
Right. Yeah. If you go into the hidden history and the pyramids and other things, I know you've looked at Coral Castle as well and things like that.
And I've got a comparison in my book that about the stone size and the weight of the Great Pyramid. Each of the stones is about 15 tons, which is just about the same size and shape and weight of the stones that Coral Castle was built with by one guy who weighed about 120 pounds with this little chain but other technology.
Yeah, I've looked at because he'd had no training in electrical engineering, and he built what he described as a generator. I've seen photographs of it. I would love to go and actually see that. I don't know how easy it would be to do that at Coral Castle.
There's something more important there. There is a reason why you don't know. As the story goes, he'd be working at night, and he'd sense if somebody was watching and would stop.
Right.
He didn't want anyone to see what he was doing. And a lot of folks say, oh, because it was bogus. No, think about this. He was raised with a respect for this technology. Only those who have earned that respect are allowed to see that technology. And I've come to understand that in terms of the technology used on 9/11. And it's so important for the whole world to know such a technology exists. I think we need a whole generation to be raised with the respect of that technology. And then we can use it for free energy.
Right.
Because if somebody's going to be monkeying around with it and oops, so I split the world in half. Didn't mean to.
Yeah, yeah. So that's almost providing a justification for them to cover it up, isn't it?
Right.
But
they've used it. They've used it and they displayed it in front of us, and that was a no-no.
So how would you, let's say that this technology is given to everyone in the world.
Well, if everyone looks at what happened on 9/11, they can see it. But they've been hoodwinked into thinking, collapse, pile, terrorists, collapse, pile, and people hear those words, and then that's what they think they see. But if they open their eyes and look and observe, they'll see that a technology that was used on 9/11 is also capable of providing free energy to the world. But knowing what it can do comes first.
Right. So how I mean, I know it's a philosophical question which there may be no answer to. How is this planet of nearly 7 billion people, if the engineers of that planet are told, given the plans and the instructions
or
on
just
that,
given this book?
But what I'm saying, Judy, is yes, most engineers would go out and build a power station with it and provide energy for everyone and clean water, etc. But
not in the culture we have.
No.
The culture we have it's so cutthroat. Even in academia, your career hangs on how much grant money you get in. And if you can get in grant money with this guy's ideas, often this guy takes that guy's ideas. It's very cutthroat and manipulative, and we need to get away from that before we can move forward.
And how do you see the future, Judy? Because we've come a long way, but really
we're not there yet.
In terms of the information being accepted, you're not a long way at all. So how do you see it? Do you think in 50 years' time this will be accepted?
I think
what's the sort of time
I think
scale?
a generation of people growing up understanding this, as soon as everyone understands such technology exists, that's when we can start growing. But if we don't know that, it's going to be used like, I was giving the scenario of the different faculty members trying to get grant money. This one's trying to, use this one's ideas to spring forth, or you talk about engineers making power stations. This one wants to outdo that one's power station, so he's going to, everyone wants to one-up the next one, and we'll end up with what we had on 9/11. That comes from, power, because he who controls the energy controls the people.
Right.
And if someone is controlling energy, they need to realize controlling energy isn't the way to go, because you end up destroying.
Some people would then say, well, we need a God to sort it all out for us. Well, I know it doesn't bring in faith or anything, but not that I'm not a religious person, but in other words, an arbiter who's not on anyone's side.
I think it would solve itself if let's say everyone sees what happened on 9/11. They see the building turning to dust. They see that this technology exists. They know this technology exists. Think what that does. That keeps the technology safer, because if somebody's using it, then everyone points at them. So everyone becomes the policeman. And then pretty soon, everyone has control of the energy for themselves. Everyone themselves, if we each control the energy, nobody controls us.
Right, right. All right, Judy, well, thanks again for doing this interview, and good luck with the rest of the tour.
Thanks.
You're off to Aberdeen, I think.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, well, I hope you can understand them.
I've never been to Scotland before.
All right. Well,
you're near there, but
make sure you have some haggis. Okay?
What?
Haggis.
What's that?
Oh, don't ask what.
Oh, okay.
Right. Believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. I'm Richard D. Hall. Good night. Richplanet TV is coming to a town near you. In May 2013, I will be travelling around the UK speaking at the following places: Gateshead, Glasgow, Leeds, Liverpool, Birmingham, Weston-super, Southampton, Reading and London. I'll be covering recent UFO reports, which is not to be missed, and exposing a range of issues you won't find discussed on mainstream TV. Get ticket details from the richplanet.net website.